The year is July 2007. A trained woolly mammoth carries over the last big brick so they can finish building the Parthenon. And meanwhile, on MySpace, the first Unicorn Hole tracks are dropped. This is it. Starting here, Unicorn Hole exists. Sorry, that's on me. The earliest tracks were just straight MIDI with raw screamed vocals on top of them. Kind of sounded like a mix between a bad band and a shitty band. Over the next 8 years, I would release several MIDI core singles, splits, demos, and even 2 full lengths. The vibes of Unicorn Hole back then were kind of like the shark scene from Bambi. This was the first form of Unicorn Hole. This was the MIDI era. The year is still July, but it's 2015 now, and Uhole drops Songs Unsung. Gone was the MIDI that had defined the project for years. Well, actually, wasn't really gone so much as just disguised now with more realistic VST instruments. If you didn't want me at my, then you don't deserve me at my. Over the following years, I released wowzers, a ton of stuff. 7 EPs, 4 full lengths, 6 collaborations, 3 new bean flavors, and 2 compilations. Uhole even performed at BitGen in 2017, and I think we put on a pretty memorable show, even though it was basically metal karaoke with some Eric Andre bullshit thrown in. And just as with the MIDI era, 8 years have passed with Uhole in its second form. I do love Uhole's body of work so far. Somebody's got to, am I right? But like that time I found out my homie was a Sonic main, I think it's time to move on. So what's the big change this time? What's gonna happen? Well, this is probably the biggest announcement ever for Unicorn Hole since that one, you know? From now on, Unicorn Hole is going to be a Nintendo Core knockoff of 100 gecs called 64 gecs. You've heard of Frog on the Floor, now get ready for Gecko on the back deck. Oh. Okay, no, it's not that. From now on, Unicorn Hole will be a full performing live band. But before I get into the third era, let me talk about the end of the second era. Here, we'll start with this. What's that behind your ear? What's that? What's that? Ooh, ooh. The fuck? No. Ew. Gross. What was that? It was supposed to be an announcement like this. Songs Unsung Round 3 will be the final official release of second era Unicorn Hole. Things will end as they began. Now, some of my second era stuff has been released physically, but a lot of it has not. And so as the second era comes to a close, I do have plans to release most everything that hasn't already been physically in one form or another. If any of you are worried about this affecting the NCU negatively, don't be. It was always in the cards. It was foretold in the prophecy. Finally, I do want to note that I will continue to write solo Unicorn Hole stuff here and there and release it as singles or maybe as entries on compilations and stuff like that. So henceforth, the second era of Unicorn Hole will be called the Solo Era. So, if Unicorn Hole is a live band now, then who the heck is the band? Well, I feel an obligation to be part of it, so I'll play bass and do vocals. On guitar, we'll have Dustin, and on synth, we'll have Mitch. Both of these dudes will also be hootin' and hollerin' with me, which you may already recognize them from. As far back as the MIDI era, they've both featured on Uhole songs, and they've both been on a handful of other Nintendo Core tracks as well. They performed with me at BitGen 2017, and most recently they were both on 2022. On drums, my dude PJ will be stepping in. Now, though he's never dipped his toe or any other part in the unicorn hole before, just like Dustin and Mitch, I grew up playing video games with him, and he fits right in with the boys. He will also be providing vocals. So yeah, that's all four of us. We're pretty cool. So the only other thing I have to announce is something that you may have already seen if you've been watching closely. Unicorn Hole will be performing at BitGen 2023. Check this show out. Holy heck, it's stacked like pancakes, baby. I'll put a link in the description so you can learn more about that and buy tickets and stuff. Man, come out if you can. It's going to be insane. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Ask questions, let me know. I'll be there. Ain't no fucking square. And if you made it all the way to this part of the video, let me know by leaving a comment that says, okay, you don't believe me about the live band thing. You think I'm lying. You think I'm lying like a fucking mummy. Because here's some clips from recent practices. Let's do it. Okay, great.
This is content.
Let's do a shit. What size? What's body weight?
Oh no! I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy PK rocking.
Oh.
Order!
But hey, I reserve the right to go back to that 64 gex idea if this whole thing doesn't pan out.